So we're going to have to update our algorithm a little bit to actually get the match percentage or the match decimal from our utility function for get points. So in here we actually are going to have to make another function that actually gets the average or the geometric mean of the two users and the number of questions that they answered. So in this case, this is only one side of it, so we need to run it twice, just like what we've seen before. So now I'll just say get geo mean match, or get user match, rather. Give us some space down here. And we'll just say A and B, so user A and user B. So we'll first off get points, user A and user B. Let's keep the points. We'll just say A equals to get points of user A and user B. And then we'll do the reverse of that, of get points and user B, then user A. All right, so now that we have these points, we want to actually get the decimal value, which if we look back in here, we're going to call it match decimal and questions answered. So we'll call it match decimal equals to, and this is, we have to do the geometric mean here, so it's going to be the decimal value of A0, because remember A is sending back two things. Then we're going to multiply that by the decimal value of B0. Okay, so that's one half of it, and then we want to take it to the nth root, which in this case n will be the decimal value of B1, or the second part of this, which is the number of questions. So I'll just make a note here saying A0 equals to decimal match value, and then A or B1 slash A1 equals to number of questions answered. All right, so this is the geometric mean in respect to the number of questions answered. Cool. So now that we've got that, we also need the number of questions answered. So I will say number of questions equals to B1. I'll just put this note next to it. And I'll add this number of questions just in here instead. There we go. And then lastly, we'll return match decimal and number of questions. All right, so this is getting that match percentage. So now in our models, we can import this. So from .utils, import get match, and then we'll say match decimal and questions answered equals to get match, and it's going to be user A and user B. Again, the ordering here does not matter. Match decimal here, we'll put that there. Questions answered, we'll put it here. Great. Okay, so this is a good start. So let's try this new method out in our models. I'll go into terminal and I'll do Python manage.py shell. And we're going to go to from matches.models, import match. And we'll do match.objects.all. We've got one, so I'm going to get, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the users based off of this match object. So we'll do A equals to match objects.all 0, and we'll say user A, and then B equals to match.objects.all still 0, and then user B. So A is JMitchell3, B is Khaleesi. Okay, great. So let's actually get rid of that match object because we want it to create it because it's going to be a new instance here. So we'll do match.objects.all 0.delete. So this actually is a call to delete it. Let's make sure we can still get A and B. We can, because it's associated to the user model. It's no longer actually here, whereas match.objects.all is nothing, which is good. So now we can do match.objects.all, or excuse me, not all, but get or create match, and we'll do user A equals to A, user B equals to B. Press enter, And there we go. We actually ran the match, and notice it says match is exactly what we would expect. And now if we do a get or create, it's going to do that every single time. Cool. So now we actually have the match percentage working, and it's working well. So in the next one, what we want to do is actually compare the time when it was most recently updated when we do our get or call match. And then we might want to update it. Now, there's a few ways we might want to do this. First of all, there's things called instance methods. So if in our class we write methods in here, like the Unicode is actually an instance method. So if we did like def do update of self, we would want to check somewhere in here, I'll just say pass for now, somewhere in here we're going to want to check if update is needed. And how would we know if this update is needed? Well, for us, we can force the update, right? So we can actually do an update. So that is, we can say def do update, or let's say check update, do match update rather, or just do match. Then in here, we would basically just do this exact same thing of get match. So we'll set self, we'll say user A is equal to self.user_A, and then user B is equal to self.user_B. And we could just actually copy this whole thing here. And then self.matchDecimal is equal to matchDecimal. Self.questionsAnswered is equal to questionsAnswered. And self.save. So this will actually update that match. And then this check update part is what we will actually have to do in the next one. The reason I'm separating it out is because it has to do with timestamps. So we're going to pick it up right where we left off in the next one.